Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider... Oh. Hey. Didn't see you there. Let's just start the review, shall we? Spider-Man Homecoming, everybody. Finally, we get to see what happens when Marvel takes one of their most beloved and premier characters and builds a movie around them and lets Spider-Man play with all the other characters that belong in this universe with him. And wow, what a treat, everybody. Just what a treat. We get to see Tom Holland reprising his role from Captain America Civil War as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, who is back from his adventures with the rest of the Avengers in Munich after being recruited by Tony Stark, again being played by the brilliant Robert Downey Jr., and I hope he never stops being Iron Man because this guy still has it, just infinitely still has it. We also have Marissa Tomei on hand as May Parker, Peter's aunt, who I don't know who cast her or decided that this was a good idea because it was a really great idea and they deserve a raise and a parking spot outside the studio because, as we see so often, Stark is really taken by her, and I'm not gonna lie, I am too. She's really pretty, and yeah. Anyway, also Michael Keaton is on hand as the Vulture, Adrian Toomes. We also have a lot of great supporting characters. Zendaya playing, I won't give it away, but she plays this ridiculously spunky friend of Peter's and kind of, just the constant antagonist to his sort of just high school existence. Jacob Batalon as his friend Ned, who becomes Peter's guy in the chair at a certain point in the movie. And just the whole cast is really, really great. And that's what really sells this movie for me, just the character interactions here. So we pick up a couple months after Peter has returned from his time in Munich with the rest of the Avengers, fighting against Captain America and his splinter group of Avengers. And he still has the suit that Tony gave him at the end of the movie. And he is basically trying to figure out, well, how can I become an Avenger? And that's all he wants to be is, he's still in high school, but he knows that he is destined for greatness. But Tony Stark just says, hey man, just stick close to the ground, be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. They said the thing. And so he does just that. He's out there, saving cats out of trees, giving old ladies directions, just being a generally good, masked person. But at the same time, he's also still in high school. And so we see him go through his days of, dealing with the girl down the hall who won't, even give him the time of day, teachers who give him crap for not paying attention because he's so wrapped up in his wanting to be a hero that it's all he can think about. It is wholly encompassing all of his time, and he just wants to be a hero, and things suffer because of that, because that's all he wants to do. And eventually that brings him into the path of the Vulture, played brilliantly by Michael Keaton. Adrian Toomes here as his character. And I was really impressed with how they handled his character. One of the biggest problems with a lot of Marvel movies as of late has been the villain. They've just been a little, just not very deep. There hasn't been a lot of humanity to them. And we really get to see Adrian Toomes as, a man. He's down on his luck, and he finds his only way out is to commit high-tech robbery with a giant suit that looks like a bird because, as you do. And he comes in direct conflict with Peter Parker as Peter tries to figure out where are these high-tech weapons coming from, and finally he figures out that it is the Vulture, and he now has to stop him. And we get to see Peter balance his normal life and his crime-fighting life, and it's a great push and pull. It's so refreshing to see Spider-Man as a kid, a teenage kid, and still in high school. Part of the reason that I think he's such a beloved character is that we're able to project ourselves onto him. We've all had that bad day at school where you forgot your homework, the girl down the hall turned you down for the date, or the guy turned you down for a date. We've all been there. He was just a little bit too cool in the Amazing movies, and he was a little bit too old and a little bit too grown up in Sam Raimi's trilogy. My opinion, of course. And so it's just really cool to see a character who is very much so relatable. You know, it's hard to relate to a billionaire playboy in a suit of armor. You know, that's just the fact of the matter. And seeing, you know, a kid want to just prove to himself and prove to the world that he can be a hero is really, really endearing, and it's a really well told story of Peter just trying to do the right thing, but stumbling along the way because he's just a kid. You know, 16-year-olds do not have all the information at any given point in time, and so seeing him overcome and improvise is just really, really endearing. And that's part of the thing that I liked the most out of this movie is just Tom Holland's characterization of Peter Parker, seeing him overcome. And, you know, even when he's still obviously a kid and using that maybe to his advantage in some cases, but just seeing the struggle of the teenage hero is really endearing, and I really, really liked that. Also, again, I love Michael Keaton as the Vulture here. I love the design of his suit. You know, in the comics, he actually has like wings, but here he's got this turbine-powered jetpack of death, and it's just super sick to see him zipping around on this thing. The fight scenes are absolutely fantastic, and the way that Tom Holland moves in the suit, as I understand it, he is capable of doing a lot of like these flips and things that you see him do in the movies. So I'm led to believe that aside from like the more, you know, fantastical web spinning and things like that, that's a lot of him just doing those flips and jumps and things like that, which is super cool. The movie is hilariously funny. I won't give away a lot of the jokes, but it is a gut-bustingly funny movie, as a lot of the Marvel movies have been, and that trend continues to show itself here, and it's just awesome. Now, if I do have to leverage a couple of negatives here, and it's not a perfect movie, I will admit that. The biggest one to me is that this doesn't feel it's a little inconsequential. It doesn't stand alone by itself all that well, you know. Unlike the best of the Marvel movies, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier, those all feel like very standalone movies that can just kind of be on their own, and they don't need a whole lot of support otherwise. This feels more like kind of a filler, if you will. You know, it's just kind of, you know, how Spider-Man gets from point A to point B, so that when he shows up in Infinity War next year, it's like, okay, cool, this is where he came from now. Yeah, it's just, there's not a lot of, you know, major, you know, impact of the movie. Even the overall, you know, threat of the Vulture isn't all that menacing. You know, this isn't a world-ending event or anything like that. And I think that might have been intentional because, again, he's a kid. Spider-Man's a kid here. And so to see him handling a global ending threat might have just been a little bit too outside the realm of possibility. I don't know. Maybe you feel a bit differently on that, but it just feels, the whole movie just feels a little bit inconsequential. But that's really all the negative I can say about it, because the rest of it's just so great. Again, seeing a young Peter Parker doing whatever a spider can is just absolutely a joy. And I cannot recommend you going to see Spider-Man: Homecoming enough. Stick to the credits, as always. Marvel's got us trained so well, and yeah, they troll us for it this time. So just stick around for that. I won't spoil it, but it's pretty great. The whole movie is just a blast from beginning to end. It looks fantastic. The suit hasn't looked better, in my opinion. Maybe you don't like some of the more gadget-oriented aspects of the suit. I thought they were really, really cool, especially considering that this is a Stark-developed suit. It looks fantastic. You know, the one from Amazing Spider-Man was really cool, but this one really sells it. I absolutely think this is the best iteration of the suit in general. I also think this is the best iteration of Spider-Man on camera that we've seen since 2002, when the Raimi trilogy first came out. You know, Tobey Maguire did a decent enough job. Him as Spider-Man was believable. Peter Parker, not so much. And Andrew Garfield played a pretty solid Spider-Man, but he was just too cool to be Peter Parker, I thought. And I really think this is just the best on-screen iteration of Spider-Man we've seen in a very long time. You know, Spider-Man 2 is kind of this standalone singularity that can never be touched, I don't think. But aside from that, this is the best one we've seen in a very long time. And I can't give this movie enough praise. Like I said, a couple of downsides, but nothing to detract from the movie overall. It is just a fun superhero movie. It's like a teenage sort of, melodrama at times. It's a high-flying action-adventure movie at times, and it's just fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, go check out Spider-Man Homecoming, everybody. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go check out all the other things I've been doing on the channel, as well as my weekly DC animated movie review series. I'll have a new one of those going up this weekend, actually. I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I will see you guys for another review. What comes out soon? I don't know. I'll find something to review for you guys. It's going to be great. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe, guys. What do you guys think about Spider-Man Homecoming down in the comments? And I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.